The flat earth, the hidden prison you were never meant to see. You were born into a controlled illusion. From the moment you could walk, you were handed a globe, told that you live on a spinning ball, hurtling through endless space at impossible speeds. That the sky above is infinite, that you are an accident, a speck of dust in a meaningless void. But that's the lie, because the moment you understand where you really are, you'll understand what they really are. The world is not what you were told. Step outside, look at the horizon, does it curve? It never does. No matter how high you go, it remains flat and level. Water does not bend, it always seeks level. Yet they tell you oceans wrap around a spinning sphere. Airplanes fly straight. Pilots do not tilt down to adjust for a curve. No real photos of Earth exist. NASA admits their pictures are CGI composites. If the Earth is truly a globe, why do they have to fake it? Antarctica, the forbidden border. They claim Antarctica is just ice, a frozen wasteland, a place of no interest. So why is it so heavily restricted? The Antarctic Treaty, 1959, bans independent exploration. Over 50 nations enforce it. Any unauthorized attempt to cross its boundaries is intercepted by military forces. Satellite images of the region are heavily censored. What are they hiding? Some believe Antarctica is not just a continent, it is the outer boundary of our world. A massive, impassable ice wall that holds the oceans in. Beyond it, something they don't want you to see. The true nature of the firmament, the impenetrable barrier above us, the edge of the construct itself, the limit of the known realm. Whatever it is you are not allowed to find out, the dome, Earth is a sealed system. The Bible, the Sumerians, the Mayans, all describe the sky as a firmament, a solid barrier above us. NASA knows this. In 1962, they launched Operation Fishbowl, detonating nuclear warheads at high altitudes, hitting something solid. Astronauts in interviews have accidentally admitted we cannot go beyond low Earth orbit. NASA documents repeatedly refer to Earth as a closed system, one that cannot be escaped. If space is real, why can't they leave? Because there is no space. What you see above is not an infinite universe. It is a projection on the firmament, a celestial clock moving with perfect precision. Why lie about the shape of the Earth? This deception isn't just about hiding land, it's about hiding who you are. If Earth is a flat, enclosed realm, that means you are not a random accident. You were placed here. There is a creator, one they have tried to erase. The sky is not space. It is a designed system with purpose and meaning. But if they convince you that you live on a spinning ball, lost in an infinite void, you believe you are insignificant. You believe there is nothing beyond this life. You accept their authority as the highest power. They replace the creator with science. They replace meaning with nihilism. They replace truth with illusion. Because a world that believes in nothing is a world that obeys. Breaking the illusion. The cage is not physical. The real prison is your mind. You were taught the globe before you could question it. You were told to trust experts instead of your own eyes. You were conditioned to mock those who doubt the official story. But once you see through the lie, you start to see all of them. The hidden entities that rule from the shadows, feeding off our ignorance. Because if the Earth is flat and enclosed, then everything they've told you about reality is a deception. And the moment you wake up to that truth, you become impossible to control.
We all remember this disaster in 2003, don't we guys, when the 7 astronauts shot off to space and just blew into smithereens. And even though it got massively forgotten about very quickly, the whole world was hit with a big upset because these 7 people shot into space and never came back. But if we were to know NASA any better, we'd know that they were literally lying to the world about many things. So what if maybe they didn't die and they could still be possibly alive, even living the same names? Let me show you. Sharon Krista McAuliffe died in the disaster. Sharon A. McAuliffe, law professor. I know they've aged because, you know, time does age people. Judith Resnick died in the disaster. Judith Resnick, law professor. Pretty similar faces, but they've just aged a bit. This is the guy that died in the disaster. This is his twin brother, apparently. Ronald McNair, Carl McNair. Ronald McNair's brother. What about Francis Richard Scobie? And Richard Scobie died in the disaster. He's now the CEO of Cows in Trees Limited. And them eyes, man, like they're pretty distinctive. eyes and facial expressions, right? Considering they've got the same name, and this guy died in the space disaster, and this guy's now got a lot of money.
There is no curvature, there is no motion, and there is no outer space. There is no curvature. That's a fact. You can argue against it with the alleged curvature, but the fact is there is no curvature. From huge land masses being observed and measured flat to the natural physics of large bodies of water always being level, flat, horizontal. The horizon over an ocean is always flat, level, horizontal. And yes, flat and level means the exact same thing. There is no motion. That's a fact. You can try to argue the alleged effects of the alleged motion, like the star trails, but the sky is moving over us. There is no motion to the earth. The earth is flat, there is no curvature, and the earth is stationary. There is no motion. These are facts. There is no outer space. You can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum. That violates natural law. There is no outer space. You can say, well, what about the pictures from space? Oh, the painting from 1972, or all the fakery with the wide-angle lens, the outright CGI, or the fisheye lens? No, there is no outer space. The show that NASA is putting on is to trap the minds of humanity.
What if I told you that a rainbow is proof of the firmament in plain sight? More specifically, a double rainbow. Because if you look closer at a double rainbow, it's being reflected off of something. And you know that it's being reflected off of something because the colors are inverted. Just like when you look in a mirror, you raise your right hand, it looks like you're raising your left hand because it's inversion. A mirror inverts things. So what kind of mirror is this rainbow being reflected off of? What kind of mirror is reflecting the light from the sun and creating halo-like structures around the sun? Take a flashlight and put it in a fishbowl and you will get almost the same exact features. So am I saying that we live in a giant fishbowl? Sort of. We live in the firmament, in God's firmament.
One of the most asked questions here is who filmed the craft leaving the moon in 1972? Who filmed the Apollo 17 lunar module leaving the moon? NASA says it was a Westinghouse color TV camera mounted on the lunar rover and remotely controlled from Earth. This happened in 1972 during the final Apollo mission. According to NASA, an operator at Mission Control in Houston anticipated the launch, manually tilting the camera upwards to follow the ascent, despite a 1.3-second delay in signals between Earth and the moon. But here's where things don't add up. How did a NASA operator perfectly track a rocket launch with 1970s technology and a delay? Even modern space feeds struggle with lag today. If the camera had a pre-programmed movement, why don't we see this level of precision in modern space missions? And what about the lunar dust? Why wasn't there a massive cloud kicked up by the engine blast? Then there's the power source. The camera was battery-powered, using silver zinc batteries. But how did they survive the extreme lunar temperatures and function flawlessly at the exact right moment? And what happened after the lunar module left? NASA says the camera kept broadcasting for about 4 minutes before they lost the signal. Forever. They never got that signal back. No more live footage was ever transmitted from the moon. No other camera was left running, and we've never seen high-quality continuous footage of the moon after Apollo ended. Convenient? And the final point, just look at it, please. Look at it. So, was this an incredible technical achievement or something else?
We all know that the theory of gravity has made us all be programmed to believe that water can bend. And I can show you now that the mark of the devil is also all over the gravitational theory. See, Google tells us that Isaac Newton published the theory of gravity in 1687, but when did he actually come up with it? He first thought of his system of gravitation, which he hit upon observing an apple fall from a tree. The event occurred in the late summer of 1666. So there it is, guys. They tried to hide it, but Isaac Newton thought of the gravitational theory in 1666. And they literally tell us in plain sight. The first ever Apple logo was a picture of Isaac Newton sitting under the tree in 1666. And once again, guys, you know, the mark of the devil will always be there. The first ever Apple device sold for $666.66. They use symbolism all over this realm. You've literally just got to have the eyes to see it. The list is literally endless.
So the video I made about talking about flat earth or whatever, I believe. So in the comments, you got those, oh, but a square foot of this, and you know, the moon is circling around the thing, but you know, and the calculus of the speed around the earth and the speed is like, you know, shut up. First of all, I don't believe we ever landed on the moon at all. That's another thing, right? Get that out of the way. I don't believe we have a real picture of the earth at all. Everything is CGI. You can tell it's CGI. All we doing is sitting in the comments talking about our opinions. You do realize that, right? None of us can prove what we saying at all. At all. You telling me with the technology we had in 1969, they put together a ship and landed on the moon. We didn't even have wireless, anything. We didn't have dial-up. But somebody landed on the moon. You telling me they built a ship that flew all the way to the moon. All the way to the moon. Had enough gas, everything. Flew all the way to the moon. And came back. But we don't have a ship that can fly around the world without needing gas. Make it make sense. We all see what that happens when they try to shoot rockets into the air, right? It hits that wall up there. We've seen it on camera. With all of the reality shows we have, you telling me they don't have a reality show of somebody going to space? Why is that? I would like to see that. You telling me they couldn't live stream from the moon if they go into the moon and live stream it and show us video? With all the technology we got, we can't have video of that? And it's even crazier because people will get in the comments and try to explain something scientific and then be like, oh yeah, this is why is this, and how are you giving me facts on something that's your opinion? Have you been to the moon? Because I haven't. Have you seen the earth from space? Because I haven't. And it's even worse when somebody try to call you stupid based on their opinion. My bad, Mr. Scientist. All I know until proven otherwise, I'm not gonna believe what they tell me because they tell me that. I'm not a sheep. I'm not a sheep. And another thing, they want us to believe that we shooting through the sky, right? We shooting through the sky at a certain speed all through the galaxy. All the planets are rotating, right? Right? Above us must be stay the same because Polaris been in the same spot forever. Explain that to me, Mr. Scientist man, because I would like to know. I would like to know.
Scientists managed to create a star in a jar by putting water in an empty vacuum and then passing a sound wave through the water. This causes the water to expand in the middle, creating an air bubble, and then the water collapses upon itself. And the intensity of this collapse is so powerful that it generates heat and light, creating an artificial star. Now, Nikola Tesla told us to think of the universe as energy, frequency, and vibration. Energy is light, frequency is sound, and vibration is the effect of the sound wave passing through physical material. The entire universe is light, sound, and vibration. Now, how are we able to create an artificial star? By putting a sound wave through a vat of water. Now, the Bible speaks of the waters above. Now, I know we say that space is an empty vacuum, but what if space is pressurized water? Because in the beginning was the Word. Now, even animals and life on Earth uses light and sound communication to communicate with each other. Everything is connected in every single way that you could possibly imagine. This is one beautiful creation. Just look into the study of cymatics, and you will look up at the stars and think much differently about them.
Antarctica, the last forbidden zone. They tell you it's just ice, a barren wasteland, a dead continent. But if that's true, why are you not allowed to go there? No independent travel, no unrestricted exploration, no settlements, despite every other piece of land on Earth being claimed, colonised and exploited. The Antarctic Treaty, signed by over 50 nations, ensures that no one asks too many questions. No drilling, no mining, no investigation beyond what is approved. Even billionaires with limitless resources are kept out. Antarctica is locked down for a reason. Because it's not what we've been told. Because if you went beyond the wall, you'd see the world for what it really is. Operation High Jump, the mission that changed everything, 1946. The US Navy launches Operation High Jump, a full-scale military expedition to Antarctica, led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Officially, it was a training exercise. 4,000 plus troops, aircraft carriers, destroyers, submarines. A fleet prepared for war. Yet after only a few weeks, the mission was abruptly cut short. Byrd's later interviews were disturbing. The Antarctic Treaty was signed. The entire continent was put off limits to the world. What did they find? Why did the US government panic? And who or what forced them to retreat? The ice wall, the edge of the construct. Antarctica is not just a continent, it is a boundary. A wall of ice that marks the edge of the known world. If Antarctica is part of a larger construct, it means our entire perception of reality is an illusion. And what happens if people start asking the right questions? The system falls apart. The final barrier, the choice that awaits. They built the lie to keep you inside, the false history, the controlled science, the illusion of exploration while keeping the real boundaries hidden. Antarctica is the key to it all. The wall at the end of the illusion, the final barrier between you and the truth. And once you see it, you can never go back. Now ask yourself, why is Antarctica the only place on Earth where free exploration is forbidden? Because the truth is too dangerous.
There's a city underwater. Okay, there's a 100,000 square foot biodome on the floor of the ocean, which has essentially been drained of all water, creating a breathable, oxygenated interior on the ocean floor. It's massive. I'm talking 50,000 feet high, miles in circumference. They basically began colonizing it. Okay, first they built cities, infrastructure, laying the groundwork for commerce, effective transportation systems. But it gets even darker. Okay, they didn't colonize it with people who know what's going on. Okay, they took human embryos, right? And they began raising this colony of kids who had no idea of any world outside of this environment, and raised them in here with a fabricated worldview, false beliefs. Okay, they think that that biodome is their entire universe, and anything outside of it is just a completely unknown abyss, right? Like, this is basically a deranged experiment carried out by these maniacs. Like, imagine taking one of those people out of there and bringing them up here. Like, just imagine the shock. Scariest part is there are dozens upon dozens of these biodome experiments down there. Like, they're creating a fabricated mini-universe paradigm where these biodomes are different planets and the people in the colonies just don't know.
Roll another. Yeah. Oh, la da 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 da. La da da. La da da da. La da da da. La da da da. Yeah. I was gonna clean my room until I got high. I was gonna get up and find the broom, but then I got high. My room is still messed up, and I know why. Why, man? Yeah, 'cause I got high. Because I got high. because I got high.
Go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one.
I was gonna go to court before I got high. I was gonna pay my child support, but then I got high.
No, you wasn't.
They took my whole paycheck, and I know why.
Why, man?
Yeah, hey, cause I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high.
Come on,
Go. I messed up my entire life because I got high. I lost my kids and wife because I got high.
Say what, say what, say what, say what.
Now I'm sleeping on the sidewalk and I know why.
Why, man?
Yeah, hey, cause I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high. La 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 da da da. I'ma stop singing this song because I'm high. Present tense,
Baby,
I'm singing this whole thing wrong because I'm high.
Bring it back, bring it back.
And if I don't sell one copy, I don't know why.
Why, man?
Yeah, hey, cause I'm high. Cause I'm high. Cause I'm high.
Are you really high though, man? He really is high, man.
Shoop, shoop, shooby doo wah.
Get jiggy with it. Skippity bee bop. Oh, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.